Let me go respond to KD, bro. That's what y'all niggas want me to do.
The game is about a bucket. You know what I'm saying? Bring my nigga Ash up, man.
He's right there.
I don't see him. He's in the listener for me.
How many people are in here?
I don't even know.
Let me go respond to KD since y'all want me to respond to this nigga, bro. I don't even know really what to say. Nigga's bored.
Stand on your opinion, nigga.
I guess I'll just say jealous.
What?
I really, it was crazy. I just don't know. Like the nigga's not top five. Like I don't know. Like he's just not top five, bro.
So explain why isn't he top five, nigga? Like
He
I
got
just
locked up by a rookie, nigga. Like I don't know what to tell you, bro.
explain, nigga.
He got locked up by a rookie.
After all those breakdown takes you have, this is your explanation you're giving the people.
Oh, I'm talking about. I'm talking about the response I'm about to get to this nigga.
Because you have the space, you're sitting in silence, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, bro.
Look, the conversation that was being had in the clip that now I guess is about to go viral for the next 2 or 3 days is I don't even want to just respond to this weird nigga. Oh wait, I do want to pin this thing up here though so people know
He's a weird nigga now? Wow.
he's definitely a weird nigga. Nigga gets baited by 12-year-olds. Like I don't know what to tell niggas.
Oh.
So I put the conversation that was being had was why is like who's the top five players and the dude there was somebody on the podcast on Players Choice podcast who said that KD's top five. And so then I asked why. And for again, I want people to know to insert Durant into the top five, he left off Embiid, Luca, um, and AD. And he was talking about it when everyone's healthy too. So then I just asked a simple question. Oh, Ash is not in here. I brought him up here. I just asked a
He
simple.
is. I see him.
I asked.
Make him co-host.
I
I'm
asked
gonna
a
bring him up.
simple question. Why is KD over AD? Now, if he would have said the reason why KD's over AD is because I just prefer offensive leaning players. I think scores. I value scoring and offense. Like if that's what he would have said, fine. I probably would have followed up and asked, well, why isn't Luka there or Embiid or whatever? But fine. Like if that was your argument, fine. But his response was KD. No, he said AD has a bad motor. And I was like, bro, the nigga's like the best defensive player in the league. Like, well, you're questioning his motor. Like, I'm kind of confused. So then he refined it and said, oh, I'm talking about offensive motor and like he's inconsistent in the playoffs. So then that's where it started off from. And I basically said the way, and this is true for everyone. Nigga, the way that y'all talk about KD is odd to me. It's just odd. There is absolutely no way. There's just none. There's no way that you are holding Anthony Davis to the standard of being the best defensive player in the league, and he still has to have an offensive motor on par with Kevin Durant or on par with Joel Embiid. Like he still has to have the ability of averaging 25 plus. Because if that's the standard that you're holding him to, you are holding him to a higher standard than you're actually holding KD to. Because KD, mind you, this is the second postseason run where he goes into the playoffs and he goes up against actual competition that is relatively his height and size. He sees a noticeable regression in his production and efficiency. Like it's just that simple, not that complicated. And so if the nigga wants to have a conversation, I guess, but it has nothing really to do with him and everything to do with the way that y'all talk about Durant. Y'all talk about Durant like this nigga is like I don't know. And what bothers me even more is that y'all make these obscure standards to what your criteria is, which is fine. but then it's just not consistent from one player to the next. Niggas will sit here and critique Anthony Davis for missing regular season games, but not critique players like Kawhi and KD. Niggas will critique um, someone's defensive ability, but then we'll have AD or Embiid outside their top five, and they're way better defenders. Niggas will critique lack of playoff success, but KD just went the past 2 seasons get knocked out the first round and second round. Niggas will critique about what they did against competition in the postseason, but KD can drop in the playoffs almost every single year when he's not on the same team with Curry and them. Like I don't know, like what it like. That's my only argument. If you want to say that the way I gauge players is solely off of like scoring value, then yeah, sure. Then that's what you want to say, fine. But I don't know. There's no other way around it, bro. You're just not. He's not a top five player, bro. He's not a top five player, especially the way that y'all talk about players. But he's just not top five. That's it. No other way around it, bro. Now, unless you want to tell me that your standard of what a player, a top five player is in the association has changed, unless that's what you're telling me, fine. But he's not. He's just not top five. He's just not. That's it. No other way around it, bro.
Niggas still think he better than a lot of players that he not better than. So
That's it. That's all it is. It's not even me calling him a bad player. It's just that the nigga's not a. He's not top
yeah,
five.
some people I've talked to
Nigga,
people. Some
Lo,
people
you think he's just as good as Braun and Tatum, dude. Please stop talking, bro. The nigga is better than those
he's
two.
better.
Please, like, no
He's
troll.
better. No wait, no. Tatum's better than KD at this point in his career.
This
Yes, he
nigga.
And
is.
you all have a good night, man.
All right.
And
See, and
niggas,
I
no
won't
wait, but
say that. This nigga.
niggas try to also argue that Luca.
This
Wait,
is type of
niggas was
shit I be
also
talking
trying to
about, though.
argue with me that Luca is worse than KD. So there's that too. Like I don't
The
think
other way, I want to be clear to because I've said, and this is where maybe y'all just don't know my what you call it, bro. I've said almost all year long, and somehow I got hate for this as well. I get hate when I call LeBron not a top 10 player, so I'm hating on
You,
him.
s-
But
you said
then
top 20.
all of a sudden, when it comes to KD, I'm giving hate for him as well. I've never what Asher said is a lie. I've never said that LeBron is better than KD or they're just as good. I've been quote unquote hating on LeBron all season long as well. So I'm hating on LeBron, I'm hating on KD. Y'all niggas think I hate on Tatum as well. Like I just hate on everybody, yet they're all still above. I don't know, like what the fuck y'all want me to do, bro? Apparently, if I criticize these players or if I hold them to the standard that some of you all put them on, then all of a sudden it's a problem, bro. It's a problem.
Yeah, shit ain't right. Shit ain't
yeah,
right.
And so
Oh.
And
KD
so
did the
now
nostalgia
Steve-O's up here
factor.
Wait,
about to
wait, what I do?
troll.
Wait, chill. What I do? What I do, man?
Steve-O's about to troll, and so now
No,
this
I'm
is where we
not.
have a
No,
problem.
no, I'm not. No, I'm not. I just feel like
Yo, Steve, I'm saying, bro, this shit ain't right, bro.
no, it's not.
Y'all
It's
niggas
not
ain't
right.
right.
This nigga, what does nigga Low do?
All right, this nigga. Okay, I thought he's about
I'll
to
fight to the
troll.
mute, nigga.
I
We
thought I
want to
thought I
hear
thought he
about
was
him.
about to troll. I
The
thought he was
game
about
is
I
to
about
troll.
to
wasn't.
flip, nigga.
I'm not
Nigga,
gonna troll.
this nigga, man.
Yeah, get that shit out of here, bro. Um, yeah, nigga, he's just not top five, bro. It's not that big of a deal, bro. I'm not gonna mute anymore. Go ahead, go Buck whatever your name is, and I'm gonna go to Don.
It's Bukari. Nice to meet you.
Bukara. Yeah.
I mean, KD is like I like what you mentioned about him just like getting locked up by players, but don't you think like post Achilles, like his rim pressure is gone. Like it's kind of tough for him to get to the basket now. I think like the Boston series in 2022 kind of exposed what his biggest weaknesses and flaws are. Like big guards and wings are just giving KD a big trouble, man. This is
Which is
just basically
fine. That's
That's
fine.
that's just
It
basically
doesn't.
it, man. Sometimes like post Achilles, it's tough, man. It is tough. Yeah. I mean, I think he maybe be like the fifth spot or the sixth spot. I don't think he's above that. I think Luka's better and B Giannis. Those guys are all better than way better than not way better, but just better. You know, like it's fair to put him at five, I think. But anything above that is kind of no.
He's
But
not top. If you want to put him fifth because you value scoring, that's
it's
fine.
fair.
But
It's fair
no.
because like he still got a generational shot. He still can get, I guess, like 95% of NBA defenses he can cook up. Just a few teams, he just got a few weaknesses on. It's not like that's all I gotta say, man. It's just not. It's tough. Yeah, I don't hate your argument. I just think like there's reasons for it. It's more than just this guy locked him up. And yeah, that's all I gotta say.
This nigga is. I was like, Katie's going around acting like he doesn't know. It's like, oh man, what's the point? Yo, yes, Damo, Jesus,
You just
niggas
gonna
about to
take
troll
you
me.
just gonna take
Niggas,
that?
niggas about to
I've
troll.
been I've been
I
saying
knew
You
Damo.
he
just
was
gonna take
about to
that?
troll me. I knew this nigga's about to troll me, bro.
I don't understand why
Niggas
Who's
he's
in
troll?
my
doing
Whoa,
DMs
whoa,
like,
whoa,
that.
whoa!
damn, if
Wait!
I was you,
I
I
didn't
wouldn't
cut
take
nobody
that.
off. I didn't cut nobody off. I gave everybody the chance to talk
Go
when I
ahead,
was
get your
speaking.
troll
When
off.
they
Then
were
get your
speaking,
troll off. Get your troll off. Nah, fuck it, bro. Get your troll off.
I'm not even trolling. I'm genuinely asking. You just gonna take that? Like you
There's
just
nothing there. Pause. Jesus. Pause.
There's nothing for you to pause for, bro. Like you gotta fight back. Like you're talk.
I
You gotta
don't.
fight
I
back.
don't have to. The nigga's completely. Hey, he took the conversation
Bro,
out of
low. He
context.
said dudes who aren't good at anything, bro. Like
Yeah,
in
What?
the
real
nigga
life.
doesn't. The nigga
Yeah, like
doesn't.
you have a lot of
He's
subscribers. You do
pretty.
I'm about to
something
say the
good.
nigga
Come
clearly
He's
on,
good
man.
at
doesn't. He
something,
doesn't know me. He doesn't know me, so
Bro,
that's fine.
Obviously,
That's
we
the
know.
fine.
see,
nigga
and a
just
nigga
but
like me, and a nigga
you
like
got
me, I'd let him know who the fuck I was. But
I'm
again,
saying
like see like
that's
I
just
like
me.
Yeah, I'm
I
not. I'm
can't
not.
say
I'm
I
not gonna
can't say that
flex.
was
I'm not
strong.
gonna flex with a millionaire. I don't know what to tell
I
you.
mean, who's that flex on a
Nigga, you a
millionaire, Low?
millionaire
See,
too,
you're
nigga.
you're bugging. Who's that flex on a
Fresh
millionaire?
millionaire,
Y'all
yeah, right.
niggas is weird. Y'all
Nah,
niggas
we
is
know. Nah,
weirdos.
nigga. Don't. I remember them
This is
VCs,
a
nigga. I remember the
weirdos.
You know,
VCs,
These are
nigga.
weirds.
We was in them
I
At the
don't
VCs
know
at,
who's
last
at,
that
summer,
at the
flex
man.
on
at,
a millionaire. I
at the
just
end
said,
of the
are you?
day,
I
I just
think
said, are
you're
you
good
gonna
at
go out
something.
like
That's
that?
all.
Like, if
That's
that's how you going out,
Bro,
you just gonna
like
go out? Mr. Durant, it was out of context. I mean, I guess.
nah, you
no, the
you
nigga's
can't
still
back
not
out.
top five. He's just not top five. I don't know what to tell people. He's not top five. This
Mr.
nigga Damo's weird.
Crazy.
Damo's crazy.
Mr.
Like
I mean,
Damo's good.
all I gotta say,
Damo's
nigga. I
right.
mean, we know KD not
Damo's
top
right.
five. The only reason people have him top five is because his name's Kevin Durant, bro. If it was another player with the same limitations, bro,
But
he'd
why
not be
y'all
top
acting
five.
like there isn't? I don't like
I
how y'all
no,
acting like there isn't.
it's not about the fact that he can't be top
There's
five.
an
It,
argument if
it
you favor
it's not it's
scoring.
not
If
it's
you in
not it's not
favor of
about him
scoring, that's
not being
fine.
able to be top five. He just currently is not top five.
Let me
There's no
bring niggas
offense,
up here so they
but
can continue to troll
on
me.
some real
I
shit, the
guess.
niggas who are in like the bottom five, or like the 5 to 8 range, all have the same issues, bro. Like in terms of
I know, but
consistency
what
of
I'm saying
play,
is if you
injury, playoff translation, all
yes,
that,
but
Bro,
bro.
niggas saying this
if
because it's
he's
recorded, bro. You don't
opening,
even feel like this about KD for real, bro.
I know.
Like that's
Me?
so insane, dude.
I've
If he
been saying
was
no, stop, nigga. I've been saying this, bro. Trey, I barely spoke to you about this,
No,
dog. You
dude,
talk
no,
about
Bro,
I
dude.
y'all
don't
wouldn't
Niggas
say
is
do
this.
saying
shit
this
like
because they
that.
Y'all
think
wouldn't say
KD
this if
gonna
he was
hear
in
this
here,
shit
bro.
and go
Stop
cook them,
glazing,
bro.
bro.
You scared of KD, man.
I
No,
think
You know
nigga,
damn well
I'm
KD not
not.
better than Luca. You know KD. You know KD's not.
He's not better than
Okay, if he's
Luca,
not better than Luca, he's
KD
not
not
top
even better
five.
than
If he's not
Kawhi.
better than Luca, he's not top
nigga.
five.
Okay, hold on. Steph, Giannis, Jokic, Luca. Who's the fifth spot?
Okay, man.
Embiid.
Embiid,
We not gonna be serious, I guess.
Who
Embiid.
who is it?
Can I just ask? I understand y'all know like Kevin Durant is on the prowl
I
looking for
cooked
shit
him.
people say. Can y'all take the bass out y'all voice? Because y'all know y'all would not talk like this if he was in here. Niggas
Nah,
got
I'm a
bass in
real
their
ass
voice
nigga.
to
For that ain't
respect
no cap.
KD.
For that
That's
ain't.
I'm
crazy.
about to say
What?
if he came here, I would
Is
Man, I'm a
KD
if he
man.
gonna
Come
kick
came
on,
here.
my
man.
ass?
Oh, this nigga. Okay, we're gonna have to stop the trolling because this niggas is fucking trolling. Niggas is just
Nigga
trolling,
think
bro.
KD
Love,
gonna
make
extend
Niggas
love,
his
make me
extendo
co-host real
clip
quick.
ass arms over the screen and hit my ass through fucking.
Right? Like what KD gonna do? Like,
I already know.
niggas is trolling, bro. Jesus Christ, bro. The fucking trolls is like it's just too much, bro. It's too much trolling. Fuck.
I didn't troll about anything.
I'm
All I
not saying you,
was
Jesus.
Lo,
saying,
I
like,
would never disrespect your space by interrupting niggas speaking and just trolling like that. I'm asking genuine questions that the streets want to know.
The point of
I
all of
respect
this
that.
is that, and again, I actually did respond to Katie. I just told him that niggas hold you to a different standard. That's the point. And niggas, what's even crazy is that niggas get Katie's. I don't know if he's just falling for bait and this nigga's trolling, or he's just really like this remedial on the app. But I don't think he's that remedial.
That's why
I
you
don't
said
understand the concepts of like, bro, like the arguments people have, being critical of Anthony Davis's motor, but then talking about KD, and you're completely ignoring that AD throughout the postseason was the best defender in the league, not even close. Like ignoring the value that he provided, it didn't make any sense. Then talking about playoff success doesn't make any sense either because the nigga has not made it to the conference finals since he was with the Warriors. Then if you're gonna talk about
You literally have Joel Embiid as a top 5 player, by the way.
that's not
On
my
the day.
criteria though. That's not my criteria. I'm talking about other people's standards. That's all I'm saying.
did you tell this to
My
Kevin Durant?
huh?
Nothing. You got it. Go ahead, bro.
Nigga, Jesus Christ. My argument isn't for towards or like it's not for KD. It's my argument is for the niggas whose arguments are that KD's top five off of arbitrary metrics that don't make no fucking sense because they hold him to a different standard. If you're upset that players don't play 82 games, why the fuck do you not hold that same standard to KD? If you are upset that niggas are not elite level defenders, why the fuck are you putting KD over Giannis and Embiid? Like what's the point? I don't understand that. If now again, if all you care about is getting a bucket, then I can understand. If you value scoring, sure. But when I ask people these questions, that's not what they say. They don't sit here and argue about score, 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 score. It's about playoff success. It's about defense. It's about things that are not applicable to KD or is not as applicable to KD that it would be someone else. That's the problem.
But one, there's many counters. Listen, I mean, I don't think KD is like high. I think he's like probably like 5 to 6 or 7. It just depending on how you like argue. But you like up here acting as if like, nah, man, there's like 5 niggas clear of KD. That's where niggas are
It
having
is.
issues with it. No, there are not 5 players clear of Kevin
I
Durant,
think I
bro.
think I think Embiid is that fifth.
Joel Embiid is not clear of KD. Please stop trolling me,
I think
love.
he. I think he is. I think he is.
Why
I
is
think
he
he is.
clear?
No,
I
he's
think
not.
he is.
Why is Embiid clear?
Yeah, I'm being trolled today. This is insane.
I think. I think. I
You're
think
the one
the only.
accusing.
I think the only
You're
reason
you're
why. I think the only
accusing. You're
reason why the
accusing the man.
production. I think the
Go ahead.
only reason why the production doesn't translate into the playoffs is because of injuries, bro. I think that's it.
Is because of he literally okay, wait. Listen. I defend Embiid a lot of the time, but we're not about to sit here and act like this is just injury that are hurting him. He literally averages more turnovers than assists in his playoff career. He is not a good ball handler. So when he's trying to go out there and create from the top of the key, a lot of his issues as an offensive player, they start to shine. He's not a great shot maker when he hits the playoffs, and his defensive energy, especially these last 2 seasons, it can kind of shift on a game-to-game basis. I would agree if Embiid was like AD defensively and wasn't leading some of the worst half-court playoff offenses of the last 5 years, I would agree with you if he was a little bit better. But even with all these KD issues, he's still leading a very good playoff offense these last 3 years post Achilles. He's still one of the better, I guess not playmakers, but more so like scoring gravity guys in the league. Defenses still just treat him like, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah,
as they kind of
that's
should.
a
With
scoring
right.
art. Ash, I just sat there and
No,
said,
but it's not just scoring. It's not just scoring. You're
okay, what
diluting the
else?
game to such a
Bro, Ash, he's not about to follow
minute
you, bro.
degree.
No,
Nigga, what?
no. Stop. Ash, what else? You said okay, scoring gravity. What else? What else?
You said what?
What
I'm
else?
sorry, I
What
cut
else
out. I
is
cut
it?
out.
What's the other argument? Scoring gravity and what else?
His scoring gravity, his scoring, his weak side rim protection, the things that he brings to the game. You acting as if he's a
Say
bad
it.
defender.
Stop. You said scoring gravity, then you said scoring, and then you
Yeah,
said
and
weak
then I
side
said,
help.
yeah,
So
scoring
what else?
gravity, weak
The
side
only thing that
protection,
you said that had
passing,
nothing to do with
playmaking.
scoring was weak side help. So say something else, nigga.
I
Say
just
something
said
else.
multiple. I just said passing and playmaking, by the way. I just said that. I
The
just said
playmaking
passing and
is based.
playmaking.
Wait, stop. The playmaking is based off of the scoring gravity. That's what you just
Okay.
said.
So if defenses are going to treat, all right, scoring gravity does not necessarily mean that you are a great playmaker. Embiid has some of the best scoring gravity in the world, yet he continues to fail to capitalize on that, bro. Don't be fucking dense with me, nigga. It is 7 o'clock in the night. Do not be dense with me right now, bro. If
Nigga,
you have scoring
I'm
gravity,
not.
that does not mean that you have
Oh
playmaking.
shit,
But
he's getting
what I'm
pressed by two
saying,
niggas
Be
today.
so serious.
you're not listening to me. The argument that I said was again, if you're high on scoring and everything that comes along with it, then yes, I can hear somebody
Why
making
wouldn't
the
I be high
argument.
on the guy who's arguably the best scorer in the world?
If
That's a
that's
dumb
what
thing
your
to dilute.
argument, Ash, are you fucking dumb? If
Okay, no,
that's
but
what
you're
your
trying to make it
argument
sound as
is,
if that isn't a.
I didn't say it was
Of
never a
course,
bad
you
argument.
value scoring. Why wouldn't you value scoring?
Ash,
That's
I've
the
said
name of
it.
the game.
Ash. I've said several times, if that is your argument, then fine. But that's not what people argue when I ask them the question. What people argue is defense, playoff translation, playoff
And
success.
once again, you're changing the argument because I don't give a fuck about what those niggas say. I'm asking you, why is he not a top 5 player? I want your reasoning for why he's not top 5. I don't care about
Oh,
what
because
Big Ticket is telling you, bro.
again. So the fifth player would be Embiid, and I think that a lot of Embiid struggles as a playoff translator has a lot to do with his injuries and also the years of him playing with Ben Simmons. That's why I think that the playoff translation doesn't exist as much as it should. But again, if the things that you're if that's the one thing that we're
To
going
me,
back and forth on, I guess. But I would still argue the value that Embiid provides defensively, still as a standalone defender, would still, especially in the postseason throughout the past. Well, depending on how far back we want
I
to
agree
go.
it makes Embiid arguable, but I just don't know how you can sit here and ignore the fact that he literally has been one of the worst volume half-court offensive players in the playoffs these last couple of years, bro.
Did I not
Truly.
just sit here and say I believe that the lack of playoff translation for him has a lot to
It's
do with
not an
his
injury
injury?
thing. For a lot of
Oh
the for a lot of
well,
it, so it's an injury reason why he's leading a below average offense versus the Hawks.
if that
Low, is that the
if
reason,
that
Low? Please
if
tell
that
me.
wait but I'm not going that far back though, Ash.
How far are you going back this
I'm
year?
just going back to the last 2 seasons.
I will agree with you for the Heat series, but you're like sitting up here talking about like these injuries for Embiid, and can't I argue the same thing for KD? How he's continuously getting niggas diving to his knees, and that's why he's slowing down every single time he gets to the postseason.
If people were to bring that up, I would be fine, Ash.
And I keep saying that I'm arguing with you, Lo. I'm not
Oh
quoting the
well,
other
no.
Yo,
people
Well,
in the
Ash,
so
those
so
niggas
then
got their
wait,
hands up,
so
bro.
to
Niggas want to ask
respond
questions.
to that, the reason why I say no because he looks completely fine in the first round against the Clippers this year.
niggas who didn't have a single person to guard him, bro. Are we serious? Swiping, nobody's muted. We're just talking.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, you can't hear us.
Swiper
Well, I'm
just
trying to
wants
be
to be let
Swipe,
up so
respectful
Swipe
because
is
he
I'm
not
can
not
even up
gonna
here
troll.
talk
either.
over
Swipe is
niggas.
not up.
But
Oh, Swiper, you
I'm
brought that.
passing down with decorum and shit.
This thing is all fucks. Wait, I want to be clear, Ash. My premise behind
Why
it
are
can't
y'all
be that
respecting this
because
ISO so
last.
much? Low. No, Low. Answer this question, Low. Because
Oh my
no,
god.
because this is a real basketball question. So you're bringing up this Embiid KD thing. So you're saying that the reason Embiid, to Ash's point, the reason why he has dropped so often in the playoff is because of injuries and not because of play style.
I think injuries has more to do with it versus the playing
Wait,
style.
I'm trying. So what happened? So you're saying in the Nets series this year, that was primarily due to his injuries, why he was dropping off as a scorer before he ever had the knee injury.
Well, if I'm from what my understanding, he was dealing with a knee injury during the
So
series.
he finished out the regular season. By the way, he finished.
He actually had the yeah. Go
He
ahead.
finished out.
No. Say it, Ash. Ash is
I was gonna
disgusting.
say he had two different types of knee injuries. He had
Thank
the
you.
he had the knee soreness. Wait. He had the knee soreness thing that had been bothering him heading into the playoffs. Swipe. I'm not excusing him for that. I'm just saying he had the knee soreness
I don't think
heading into the
nobody's
So he
playoffs,
had.
and then he
nobody's
had the
So
excusing
why?
it.
LCL
He
So
after the
just
game
added
three.
I
context.
know I agree. I'm not disputing that, but again, I also watched that same Embiid go full throttle and get 52 points versus the Robert Williams less team 2 weeks prior to that. So I'm saying that like we gave him credit for doing it in the regular season and going full throttle, but as soon as the moment gets tough and his knee clenches up. And before the actual injury happened, now we're saying that it's because of the injury. That's the reason why he was averaging less than 20 points a game to start that series. Was getting double teamed, and as Ash pointed out, couldn't throw a pass, so we had a higher turnover ratio than he did an assist ratio that series. And then on top of that, as bad as Kevin Durant has played, Kevin Durant has never had a stinker in the last 4 years as bad as Embiid was in that first round versus the Nets. And Kevin Durant this year, when everybody
There's no
and
way.
Kevin
That's
Durant
not true
and
at
Kevin
all.
Durant
That's
and
not
That's
Kevin
true
not
Durant,
at
I'm not
true
even
at
done.
all.
all.
I'm not even
What?
done. I'm
Even
not
if
even.
it was
And
true,
Kevin Durant
that's
I'm not
not
gonna
and
lie.
true.
Kevin
I
Durant.
can't
No
defend that.
problem. Go ahead. Go ahead and mute. Go ahead and mute. And then
Oh,
Kevin Durant
that's
and
fucking
Kevin
lie.
Durant this year in a bad series, which I agree was not quote unquote historically great, averaged 31, 11, and 5. Still in that series on bad efficiency, sure, but still offered good rimside protection as Ash talked about. So even if you want to make the argument, I don't think that Embiid clears Durant. I think Embiid is clearly flawed. I think KD has his flaws as a passer and playmaker for sure. But no, I don't think that. I think that he still has an
do
argument
you
for top
think it's
five.
so crazy that someone has
Do you?
Embiid over Kevin Durant? Do you think that's crazy?
That's it.
No, that's not
I mean,
crazy. That's not
Okay,
Okay,
crazy.
it's
so
not
then
crazy.
what are
That's
we
And
not
for
mean,
y'all to
hearing?
that's
keep
because
doing
I
it,
have
Wait,
a
this is
wait,
killing
wait.
me. This
what Lowe just said that Embiid is clear of KD. He
No,
quite literally
I
just said
never
that. Yes,
said
you
he was
did. You just said
clear.
that verbatim.
He
Holy
asked you
fuck,
the
Ash! I'm
question.
about to
You
beat you.
just said
You're
that.
pissing me off, nigga.
Okay, you got it, bro. You got it, bro.
Nigga. So two things. A, there's no. I'll ask everybody. Y'all, you think because this was Swiper said. Swiper believes that what Embiid did in round one this year isn't as bad as what Katie did in round one last year. Is that what this is
Yeah,
saying?
bro. Yes. Look at Embiid's numbers when he started that series off,
Uh,
bro. No, I'm tired of y'all doing this. Y'all be babying this man so much. That man dropped 15
Nigga heard beat and
points.
started
Not
calling.
even that, bro. But again, this is my thing. I think KD for me,
Embiid ain't better than Durant, though.
I'd still rather have KD like in a playoff run than I would have Embiid. But I've been clear about this. I've said this for 2 months now. I just don't think if you want to put Embiid in a regular season setting versus regular season defenses, no problem, no issue with you taking Embiid. And on top of that, he's played more games relative. KD only played 47 games last year. I think the year before he played 55 games, and then obviously the year before, and then he was injured the year before that. So again, I get that, but I
Okay,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
Swipe. I don't want to nitpick at all, but like you said, Embiid's first round was worse than KD's first round
I
last
think so.
year.
Personally, I absolutely think so. I absolutely think so. Absolutely. For me.
How?
Okay, he was averaging 18 points a game. I think eight rebounds a game, averaging 4 turnovers a game and 3 assists per game on negative efficiency as well. So I think all that together, what he was doing was worse. And then he missed the game because of injury. So all that put together, yes. For me it was, yes.
What did you think about his defense in that series?
I mean, it was good, but they were playing a 5-out offense because they had no one that could put any real
Like,
pressure on. No, I mean, it was good. I'm saying it was good. But they were playing a 5-out offense because they had no player
they were
whatsoever.
playing. It was one of the worst
Yeah, they
offenses
couldn't
in the
do
lab.
anything. They literally they were only there because KD and Kyrie and them went 19-3 over a 22 game sample size, and they were living off of that run. That's the only reason that they were even in the playoffs. So like, yeah, he had a good defensive series versus a very bad playoff offense, an extremely bad playoff offense, 1,000%.
Okay, so if you believe it, then how do you think that what he did last year's round one is as good as what he just did as well? I'm kind of
I
confused.
think KD played better in that series versus Boston than Embiid did. And this is a mid-off, by the way. So let me be clear. This is a mid-off. This wasn't a great series from KD. But KD was still a better player in that first round versus the Boston Celtics was than Embiid was in this first round versus the Nets. And again, but even if you just want to, go ahead.
Actually, no, you're right. There's no need to nitpick that series. You're right.
I just feel I agree. I think we're arguing mid versus mid, and I think in a general sense, I think that from in my opinion, the reason why I would credit him from dropping in the postseason has way more to do, in my opinion, with
Why do you
injuries
keep doing that
more
though?
so
But
than
that's a part of
anything
the
else.
game. That's a part of what happens. Like if that's a part of his narrative, that just has to be it.
Yeah, but if KD's not injured, and then when he goes up against sound playoff defenses, and then he drops the way he does, what's more telling? The nigga who's hurt and going.
I would
Which one
rather
which
have
one is
the
more
one I
telling?
can rely to get there and kind of play. And even if you think he's stinky, I would still rather have him over Embiid because you don't know what you're going to get when he does get there. And then on top of that, when is the last time? Matter of fact, let me go ahead and just do this. Just even go back to 2021. Has Embiid ever had a series ever like KD had in 2021? Ever?
So then, in 21, no. But if you want to call drop coverage, fine. If and then mind you, we have to go
Embiid
back.
played
We're
versus
going on
Russell
3
Westbrook and
years.
Bradley. No, I'm sorry.
We have to go back 3 years from now if we're going back to
Well,
21.
okay, so he had 31. So he had 31, 11, and 5 in versus the Suns this year, and then versus the Clippers this year. Do you remember?
But I will say,
Go ahead.
I
I
the
think
Clippers.
21 KD is kind of clear of current KD.
Yeah,
Now I'm
for
about to say,
sure. Yeah, I
in
agree.
20,
I
in
agree.
21, I would say that he's a top 5 player, clearly. So wait,
Wait,
so
whoa, whoa.
Swipe, but my question to you is, why is AD not better
Then who?
than KD?
I don't think I.
Because
Based
he's
off of
an
the
even
stand,
worse
wait,
offensive player than Embiid. That's why.
stop. Based off of the
Two
standard
way.
that you just
Am I a
outlined
two-way valuer?
between KD and Embiid,
I don't.
why would AD not be better than
First off,
KD?
I'm not a two-way merchant, so you're not. That doesn't really mean anything to me. I think Anthony Davis has a higher defensive ceiling, and he was a better playoff player this year. But I think Anthony Davis' issues is also injury related. I also think Anthony Davis' issues is the fact that offensively he gives you way worse on a regular basis than Kevin Durant gives you offensively over the course of his playoff runs. So yeah, sure, like.
We're talking this year, though.
But Anthony Davis was better this
Swiper,
year. He was better
who's
this
your
year.
top 5 right now?
Eh.
Who's your top 5 right now, Swiper?
Can I ask a question real quick?
Yeah, let him answer the question first.
I just want to ask one. So who's better than Durant right now? Then?
Joel?
No, he
No,
said
he's not.
Durant.
Durant.
Yeah.
For me
Right now.
personally, Jokic, Giannis, Curry, Luka, and Embiid. Those are the 5 for me.
I don't have to be on my list.
Now, Swiper, for the arguments that we've just outlined, and we're exclusively talking this
Yeah, Anthony
year.
Davis is better.
What just got done in the regular season and what got done and transpired throughout the postseason.
Yep.
We're just talking
Yes,
this year.
sir.
Why,
Why are you screaming?
when one player just got done with a postseason run at transcendent levels defensively, one
AD
got
was
deeper in
better.
the postseason. Okay, so then what the fuck are we
No, but
talking
what's that
about
got to do with
then? What the
Embiid?
fuck am I
What does that have to do
talking
with
about?
Embiid? I don't understand that. That AD was better. That's
Okay, if you think that AD was better, do you think Luka's better?
yes, but where are you getting this from? I
Do you
don't.
Ew.
think Giannis is better?
Yes, Giannis is a better basketball player.
Do you think Curry is better?
Yes,
And do you think Jokic is better?
yes. That's 4 names.
So that's 5 names.
Who's the fifth? Who's the fifth?
I just asked
Oh,
you,
bro,
think
no,
AD
80,
was
no,
better?
no, 80 over the course of the regular. No, I'm not taking 80 over the course of the regular season. In the playoffs, yes, he was.
80's not
Yeah, he
better.
was.
80's
Yeah, he
Stop!
better.
was.
Yeah.
Sniper,
Why
stop!
are you screaming?
When
I'm
it came
literally
to
talking to you. I'm
Embiid,
in Chick-fil-A getting food. There's
Sniper,
no reason to scream.
stop!
Stop
Sniper,
screaming into
stop!
the microphone.
Bro, stop! And this is the shit I'm talking about. We just got done
Why
talking
are you
about
screaming?
Embiid. All of a sudden, when it was
So I'm ordering
Embiid,
food. Hold on.
oh no, I don't really. When he went to the playoffs, he dropped in all this playoff shit. Then I go to fucking AD. All of a sudden, it's oh no, throughout the course of a regular season. Pick one, nigga. Pick one. This is the shit I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking about. Fuck. Pick one.
All right.
How much?
God
Bro, I think it's
damn.
okay to say
Those are
KD's like
I don't know.
6 or 7, bro. I don't think you gotta go this length to say he's like 5. I mean, he has an argument for 5. I just don't think he's 5. But
He's 5. Yeah, he's literally about
I
I
5.
think
don't
you know
think
what's
he's
crazy.
5. But
I think
He's
he's
above.
higher
He's
Nigga,
than
above.
there's
that.
He's
not
above Luca.
he's not
no
above
wait,
Luca.
wait,
He's not
Luca
above
is
Luca.
Yes, he
boy.
is.
nigga.
Oh my
No, wait.
god,
Luca sucks,
He
bro.
snuck in six,
bro,
man.
Okay,
He
he's
snuck
above
in 7,
Luca.
bro. This nigga
Bro,
not
he's literally
7,
above
6
Luca.
niggas better than Katie, bro. Can we stop
Go on,
trolling?
name them. Name them.
Ash, where you got him?
Name them.
Well, I would have Katie. I think him and Embiid are just kind of like in their
All
own
right,
like
Lil, I'm
Oh,
slash.
sorry. I
Embiid,
was
get
ordering
out of
food. I
here,
missed it.
bro.
I think him and Embiid are like they have this on slash like they kind of get same tier.
Sorry, Lil, did I
I
miss your
guess,
rant?
man.
I
I
think you
guess.
can choose.
I think
I think you can
Embiid
kind of
KD.
choose whoever you want based off preference. I just think like the whole notion in which like low in which you were saying he's not top 5. It's clear to me that he's not top 5. Which you were saying. So I don't want to hear you yell because I will quote it. I will literally screen record it and send it to your DMs, nigga, to show you what you were saying not but 10
Oh,
minutes ago. So if you want to keep playing and acting as if you weren't
In
saying
my
he's clearly
opinion,
all right,
he's not
I'll let
top
you rock. But,
5.
okay, so I'm
But
That's your opinion. But
if
how are you
you
arguing
want to
Embiid?
argue off of scoring prowess and scoring ability and things that come off of what he provides in a scoring manner,
But your biggest
if
criticism is his playoff, aren't you? But your biggest criticism is him.
no, stop. The original premise of why this conversation is frustrating is because when it comes from player to player, it seems like the criteria changes. If you specifically are claiming that the reason why he's top 5 is based off of your valuation of, or you evaluating or putting a lot of value to scoring and scoring pressure and his ability to play make and open things up for other people based off of the value of his scoring ability, that's fine. Because I don't think that there's like 5 or 6 other players that can do it to that level. I don't think so. So that's fine. But then if I bring up another player and then you're questioning the playoff translation and you think that he translates better than Embiid in the postseason, fine. But then then you acknowledge that Embiid is a better regular season performer.
Oh,
Fine.
but
But you
again,
still
but Kevin Durant, just to be fair, again to KD, through those 47 games he was playing, would you not saying that he was playing at an MVP level prior to the injuries?
oh that's fine. That's fine as well. I still think that
Okay,
Embiid was
okay.
better in the regular season though.
Yeah, I think that's fair, but I think that's also
Okay.
but no, Lo, my biggest pushback to you is that when you were, I think
which
you
I
can
don't
make
even know how true that is, quite honestly. But
That's what I was
whatever.
gonna say. I was literally gonna say that.
which part?
You
About
think Kevin
Embiid being
Durant was
better
better
than
than
KD.
Embiid?
Embiid, remember
I
Kevin
mean
Durant was
pre
having like an
MCL.
all-time level. Yeah, he
But
was.
Yeah,
that
pre
interview
MCL, KD was
before
kind of
the injury, before
ridiculous,
the
bro.
injury.
KD
bro.
was like 29
He's
on +9, bro.
I'm
Pretty
not
he,
saying he,
good as well.
but
he was
who?
Even
like
his
But that's
deep, but
30.
but
even his defense, he was
He was like
having an
30
all.
And
and
Embiid was like, and then you can't bring up the defense because Embiid was trolling on defense for over half the season. So
And then to be fair, and then even Kevin Durant at the time, they were anchoring. I think the Nets had
I
a
think
top.
Ash is trolling me. Actually,
How am I
Man,
trolling? What
bro,
did I say
come on, bro.
wrong?
no, go ahead,
Am I
go. Go ahead,
trolling?
go.
What did I say? No.
But I'm
Continue to say
saying,
what
but
I said
Ash,
wrong.
Kevin Durant was averaging 30 on what 50, 55, 40, 90 or whatever else it was. And then on top of that, they were also anchoring a top 10 defense with him and Claxton. Now, obviously, Claxton was there with him, so that was a part of it. But the reason, what do you breathe, bro? Why are you breathing into
Bro,
the
This
let
nigga
him.
microphone?
is
Bro, let him.
sassy.
You just
I
like
can't lie.
I don't
There's no
have
way
a
you said KD and Claxton.
Nigga talking about KD and anchoring defenses. Like, come
Are you?
Nah,
on,
come on,
So you're
Swiper.
saying
what
Come
are
this
on,
we
year?
Swiper.
No,
Come
wait,
talking
on.
no.
about,
See,
bro?
Swiper,
this
come
is how I
on.
know y'all not. No, I don't want to hear this.
Come
This is how I know y'all
on.
are being nasty because you're gonna sit here and pretend like this is arguably was not KD's best defensive year before he had an injury in his knee. Are you
No, I'm
saying that?
not. I'm not saying that. But I'm just saying KD like
But
anchoring the
But we're,
defense.
it was
but
him and
listen, but
Claxton. They that was
again,
it.
Nah, Ben
look at
Simmons was
again.
there.
I want people to acknowledge once again the bounds in which we are
Oh my
conforming
gosh,
this
man!
conversation
All
for
right,
KD. Your argument is that KD basically wasn't as
you
bad
just
as a
made the argument
defender.
that the reason Embiid had dropped primarily in the playoff because of his injuries. So you went past all of his drops as a scorer, all of his drops as a passer, all of his drops even on the defensive end at time. You just bypassed all that, and then you said it's subsequently more because of injuries. So the same thing you're doing, people jumping through hoops for KD, you just did the exact same thing to make your argument for KD for Embiid.
It's just injuries. That's all I'm saying for
All right, all
for
right.
what's the name, injuries. But
I
the thing is,
disagree.
fine.
You disagree with me on
Who
KD.
was better during the regular season? Who's better, Embiid or KD this year during the regular season?
I think over the course of the whole regular season, Embiid was a better player. But I think they were good. I think pre-MCL, KD has a very strong argument to be number one. So,
Number one, what?
or not number one. Sorry, I meant better than him. My fault. I tweaked.
I
Yeah,
was about to say that.
my fault. I tweaked.
I was
I
about to
meant,
say.
yeah,
That
We're
I meant
stretch,
gonna
I
have
that
to
know,
have
stretch,
bro.
real discussions if you thought that
Yeah,
he
no,
was
he's not better
number
than
one.
you. Was
that
better than you
stretch.
for sure.
What was his
Yeah.
name? Curry was hurt. Giannis wasn't playing up to snuff. I mean, Jokic was Jokic. KD was looking like the second best in the world, bro. I ain't gonna lie. It was for like a minute, and
Nah,
then
Yeah,
he was doing
are
that
you wait,
while I'm not
Lo?
gonna lie,
Can
he
you
was
acknowledge
doing it
that? Can you
while
acknowledge that?
Steph was on his tear for the first 2 months. Like,
Can
Man,
you
y'all
acknowledge
see,
that, Lo?
but he went
every
like 30-3 in
here.
like a 33-game
I'll
stretch or some shit.
here. I'll acknowledge
Goes
this.
on some shit.
Was there a 20 or 25 game sample size
It
where
was
he
longer than
could have
that. It
made
was
the
longer than that.
argument, or fine, or 30, whatever it is? That my here, but again, I want people to understand how we got here. The argument that you made for Embiid was yes, because he's more available when he gets to the postseason. He's not as available as often. But if you want to say in the regular season he's more available and da 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 da, that's fine. Okay, if that is how you identify it, then when I ask the question, who was better in the regular season, it shouldn't be nothing more than Joel Embiid. He was a better
But he
player in
played
the
more
regular
games.
season.
But he also
Oh,
played more
that's it.
games.
That's
So
it. I'm not asking. That's it.
sure,
That's
sure.
the
I
reason
said it,
why.
but I think I already said Embiid though. I think Embiid
Yes,
was
and
better in the
okay,
regular
so
season.
and that's all I'm asking you. Okay, so my question then is, if you are willing to make the assessment that a player is better than another one, in part because of the availability of games in the regular season, that is fine. So then, if KD and AD are playing relatively the same amount of games in the regular season, but if you do agree that KD, when he was healthy, was arguably, let's just say he was a top three player, or let's just say he was a
He
clear
was.
top five. Let's
He
just say that's
was.
what he was. But then he went to the postseason, and when Embiid drops, now his name is in question for top five status in some people regards. But then AD, you could easily argue, especially defensively, he elevated and anchored. He was transcendent defensively in the
Is that what we're
postseason.
calling that postseason run, bro? An
He was not. He
elevation?
was not transcendent defensively in the postseason.
I'll let you rock,
Had
man.
a
I'll let you rock.
124 off defensive rating in the second round, by the way, the third round, by the way, but whatever. He was transcendent versus very crappy teams in the first and second round. I agree.
Oh, the Warriors are crappy.
They weren't crappy. They literally were crappy offensively this year. They were a mid offense, and then not
Yeah,
even talk about the
they weren't
road.
a good
Let's
offense
not do
this
that.
year.
Let's not do
Neither
that.
was Memphis, and they
Now
were
the
missing
Warriors had
players.
pixie
I'll
dust.
let you
Put the
rock though,
pixie
big
dust
dog.
on there.
we couldn't just hit our shots. You feel me? But I agree.
KP.
Wait,
Yeah.
but I'm saying,
who do you think? Oh, here come Kevin Durant. Here, Jesus Christ.
What are you talking about?
Man, we debating semantics, man. KD and
Yo,
B.
that's KD.
Yo, niggas getting starstruck, bro. Let's continue the conversation, man. Niggas said,
Jesus
yo, that's
Christ.
Katie. He just gassed, bro. Like, relax, man.
Bro, his hands and
Like,
knees.
yeah, relax,
Oh,
So
man. Let's have a talk.
again,
why you
Swiper,
messing?
if your argument is what a nigga does in the regular season, then it drops in the postseason, and then he's also not available. But you can argue he's better because of the regular season, because his availability. My question then follows up to, especially about what was produced in the postseason. If that's your
But you
standard,
compared him to Embiid to start, though. Embiid was better in the regular season and then played more games. And then once the playoffs started, what happened? He played
no,
worse
that's
and
fine. And if
demonstrably
that
worse than the player you're comparing him to.
swiper, that's fine. If that's how you are assessing it, that's fine. But what I'm saying is, if somebody else goes from regular season and in ascends, because if you are evaluating the postseason in such high regard that Joel Embiid can go from a top five to out of the conversation of being top five, or at least questionable to being top five, I'm then asking you, then what happens in when it's reversed? When somebody who's ascending from regular season to postseason, then I'm asking you if you cannot acknowledge, because I don't, as much as we want to go back and forth on what AD was as a defender in the postseason, it definitely wasn't as inconsistent or up and down from what Embiid was doing. What the fuck are we talking about?
But you're comparing Anthony Davis, who played a great season, but primarily was known for having a great season over an 8-game sample size where he averaged 35 and 15, and then he went to the playoff, had 2 great rounds defensively, was very inconsistent offensively. So even if you want to say that, I'm still not putting Anthony Davis in the same conversation that we were originally having, which was about Embiid and about KD. So he had a great playoff run, but I'm still not ranking him higher than either one of those players. But that's just because the sample size isn't big enough. But you already know that.
But we're talking about just 1 year. What the fuck are we talking
But
about?
this year, Anthony Davis wasn't better than either one of those players.
Oh, you're missing the point. Fuck. Jesus Christ, bro.
You got to explain it better, bro, because you're comparing regular season playoff elevation. And I'm
What are
just
you
telling you that's what
even
it is.
saying? What are you even trying to say? What's your
The
point?
point we're making is that niggas hold you in a different standard. So
What
when I
standard is
ask,
that? What standard is that that
I'm
people
about to say
hold
that.
you?
When I ask people, why do they have you in their top five? In contrast to somebody else. If somebody brings off playoff success, but then if the other nigga had more postseason success than you, then that doesn't make any sense. That's inconsistent. If they then say, oh, well, when he went up against quality defense, he dropped, well, that doesn't make any sense either because that's also applicable to you. If a nigga says, oh, he's not available during the regular season, well, that doesn't make any sense either because that's also applicable to you as well. The problem is when I have these conversations with people, they will outline reasons why one player isn't over another, but all of the things in which they criticize one player for, it's all applicable for you as well. If a nigga want to tell me that the reason why you top five is because of scoring impact, I have no problem with that because that makes sense to me. All the things that come along with the value of scoring, that makes sense to me. But
Oh, you
that's
just
not
think
what niggas
you
say
think I'm
though.
just a scorer.
I'm not saying that you're just a scorer. I'm saying is if they value scoring in a high regard, I can understand how it supersedes the missed games. I can understand how it supersedes not being as good defensively as Embiid or Giannis. I can understand why it supersedes everything else that you may be lacking in contrast to someone else, like the playmaking from Luka. That's fine. But if it's because of the high value that they have or the high evaluation they have on scoring, but unfortunately, niggas never say that. They bring up things that are applicable against you as well.
I just think how y'all even look at the game is whack as fuck. Like playoff success, like you factor in team success when when you talking about players. I just think how y'all consume the game is trash. Like, are you good or not?
I agree. I agree.
I mean, some things could be that simple. Are you just good or not? I mean, a lot of people have seen it for a long time, brother, and it's
Well,
okay. These lists don't really mean nothing anyway. So why you getting so upset about them?
I'm getting upset because niggas are inconsistent of a one way or another.
You are too, brother.
I'm inconsistent how?
You hold people to different standards. Everybody got their
Such as
opinion
who? Such as who?
for who they like. It's
Such
all
as,
right, bro.
but such as who though?
I ain't gonna go into it though.
Such as who?
There's no need for me to go into it, but everybody got different standards for different players, and everybody got their own list. Everybody feel their way personally about their favorite players. It is what it is. It just seems like you get mad or upset when people talk about me, my brother.
Such as who?
I'm just saying, when they talk about me, you seem like you get a little bit upset. I just
I
want
get
to know
upset
why.
because of the inconsistencies. If we don't want to talk about postseason success and just talk about what somebody did,
There's just
that's
too
fine.
many. It's just too much criteria to keep up with at the end of the day. I think it's all fun. We all love the game. We all love debating and
Facts,
comparison and all
facts.
of that shit. But like, y'all niggas be taking it too far sometimes, brother. It ain't even really that serious.
Nah, I think that it's interesting that again when people speak about other players, it's just
Like who? Like who? What do you say? What do you like? What
for
are you trying to
example, with
say?
Swipe, let's use Swiper for example, right? He just told me that Anthony Davis's defense's postseason run put a caveat next to it because he went up against questionable offensive teams. But then
What does that
you
even
would
mean?
say,
What? So AD's not a good defense. So you questioning AD
He's a
being a good
great. No,
defense?
he's a great defensive player. The question was he was comparing basically regular season elevation to playoff elevation. So AD versus the Warriors, great defensive series. AD versus the Memphis Grizzlies, great defensive series. But again, once AD played against a complicated system with an elite offensive player and elite offensive rounder, his defense dropped because of the role that he was forced to play in that situation. So that was the original context of that.
no, let me because it's recorded. He said that the two teams he faced in the beginning were bad offensive teams. They were crappy mid offensive teams. And so then I said, okay, so him having the responsibility of going up against the Warriors, where he was not only asked to be the rim protector and paint presence, but also was being pulled outside of the lane because they kept forcing switches and using Curry's gravity to pull 80 out the lane. Him being able to still do all those things, that should be put into context. However, I know for a fact he's the same person who's going to use numbers against the Miami Heat of all team to try to boast up who Jokic is as a defender. He's the
I
same
think
nigga.
it's I think it's context involved with anything, but to say that to question Anthony Davis's defensive prowess is just like insane. Obviously, he might not be perfect every game or every series might be different, but to question what type of defender he is, that makes no sense. Based off a series,
Do you think he was the best defender in the postseason this run?
best, best, like it don't even best comparing him to who? Like, was he great? Did he?
Comparable to Bam, Draymond, and Triple J.
It's not even like comparing them. They play different roles. It's different series, different opponents. But are they good at defense? That's just a simple question. Can they be relied upon to be great defenders? I think yes. When one guy might have a better series before, and one guy might have a better series next. But are they great defenders at the end of the day?
Yeah, I think it's very
So
Okay,
I
so
agree
basically,
with all that.
I think you just nitpicking for the sake of just like because you bored.
you don't fuck with rankings.
I do agree as well, actually. I agree.
Wait,
Niggas
No,
who
Oh
want to say,
rankings.
I
shit.
don't
I
know why
used
Hold on,
to.
hold on,
I
hold
don't
on,
know
hold on,
why
hold on,
you
hold
want
on,
to
hold on,
say
hold on, hold on, hold on. Let him
Nigga
answer this.
said this
So
the
you
That's
boredom
basically,
why you
theory.
brought up
Hell
What do you
no.
think of
AD
him?
to
Why
say
him
yo,
something
eight?
wait,
like
yo,
that to the
wait. So
point.
you basically don't fuck with rankings.
I used to fuck with rankings, but it's just gotten to the point now where it's just
Wait,
too
so you
many
don't
of
fuck
them.
with no rankings? Like you don't care about all
So you just
NBA
don't
no
like
more?
ranked players?
I fuck with the game of basketball,
He
and I
said
just
the
like
criteria
I
be
like
too
it how it
much.
is. I don't try to nitpick around it. Obviously, we're gonna look at stats and look at why a team won or lost, but it's a lot of nitpicking going on around our game right now. It's just no fun to even talk to anybody about
Wait, do you
basketball.
think do you think that the players should be like ranked or talked about in this manner? Or, like,
I mean,
how do
you
you think?
should. Yeah, I mean, of course you're gonna rank players. Of course you're gonna compare errors and all of that stuff. That doesn't necessarily mean that I like it. Of course it's gonna go down like that, but I like players for what they bring to the table individually. And circumstances and context matters a lot, and it's hard to dive into the context with so much conversation being had.
KD,
You know what I'm saying?
So it's
KD,
basically
how you feel
if you're
about
good. Wait.
how you feel about
So
rim
basically,
protection?
it's for
Sorry.
you. It's if you're good or not. That's all it is. If you good, you good. If
It's
you're
like
not, you're not. Simple.
it's really that
Okay.
simple.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean, you're gonna have your moments, and certain moments gonna matter more than others, and you want to see dudes produce in those moments. All of that shit is cool, but like at the end of the day, you know if that player is good or
Yeah.
not.
So you don't
Yo,
fuck
so
with
what
So when
about
did
rankings, but
it,
so?
you
when
fuck
did
with
wait, wait
teams.
stop. When did this switch up happen with you? Because I
Once I
don't
got
see
to the
that.
league,
And
So if that was the case, so it didn't really matter to you if you was the best player in the league or not.
what like no, being the best player in the league is like what like being the best player in the league. I just want to be in the conversation. I want to be an all star. Let's
damn,
put
But
it
so
but
that
you
then
way.
you
just
say
want to
but then you say but
participate?
then you said at one point you said you was tired of being number two.
Yeah, I was. See, when I said that, we had just lost the championship. That's what I was tired of being. Number two because we had lost the championship. That was 10 years ago.
Niggas
Wait, so
trying to
you
take him out
cool
of
with like
context, bro. That's
you just
crazy.
cool with participating now?
You's a sick nigga, KB. Oh my god.
Are you serious? This
I'm
nigga
cool.
trolling,
I'm
but
cool with
KD,
fans. I'm
nigga is
cool with fans.
glazing. All right. So bet.
I'm cool with fans consuming
All
the
right, so
game
bet
the way
your
they want to
criteria.
consume
So
it.
wait,
I'm not here
basically,
to
basically,
sway.
you instead of doing
Bro,
rankings like one through five, you just like to do tiers. Like your tier is like, okay, this player's good, this player's good, this player's good.
I
Your
don't.
tier is
I
like those
don't
that play
even
bad.
look at shit like tears.
I
Okay,
I
don't
look.
even
all
do
right,
it like
Katie,
that,
what's your
bro.
criteria
So
then?
you're so
Okay.
wait. I
I mean,
want
it's
to. I
kind of
want
the same logic
Katie.
though.
Okay, wait.
Wait, hold on.
I
'Cause
want to be clear. I'm not going to find you ranking players or putting a player over another one in your 15 years in the league. That's what I'm saying.
No, I have a preference on what I like to watch and what I like to see over others, but I appreciate what everybody brings to the game uniquely, bro.
Right. So
Everybody.
again, Katie. So again, it's just because
What
some
the
of these
fuck
questions
are
are
we
kind of
talking
just
about?
whatever. So, Katie. So when you're talking about skill sets, for instance, like what for you then makes certain players more effective? It could be in playoff situations, final situation, whatever. What makes a basketball player more effective than others when the game gets tighter, when playoff situations arise, when pressure situations hit? What do you think makes a player better or stand out above others when they're on the court?
That's a great question. I feel like a lot factors in. First of all, can you hold your own on both ends? Can you guard up, and can you go get a bucket on your own? That's the base, right? If you can't do that stuff on your own, it's gonna be hard for you to survive late in games. It's gonna hard for you to just play in general because you can't guard nobody. They're not gonna put you on the floor. You can't create your own shot. Then it's gonna be tough for you to last in the pressure packed moments. So those two things where I look at the most. But I
All right,
mean,
about defense. About defense.
you looking at
Wait,
height, you looking at
About
height,
defense. About
weight,
shut
you looking
down,
at
bro.
measurables.
Right. So
Damn.
Coach Katie, so when you evaluate your own game, then so if you're talking about yourself, so
Mm-hmm.
you since the injury, for instance, you have not consistently been able to get to the rim as like you used to. But again, that could be a lot of things. Your game has changed, play styles changed, all that kind of stuff, older, whatever else. So what do you feel about your own game has evolved or changed since you first went to Brooklyn to where you are now with the Phoenix Suns?
I'm more sharp. I don't get to the rim as much because it's just clogged up. If I could get to the rim, I would. But I put pressure downhill, though. I don't just shoot threes. That's the thing. If I'm getting past
You
my
think you put a
man,
lot of pressure on the rim now?
huh?
Yeah. You think you put a lot of pressure on the rim now
I think I drive
compared to
more than I
compared to how
just
you did in
settle for
OKC
threes.
back then?
I don't just settle for threes. If I'm just getting into the paint, making something happen, I don't necessarily got to lay the ball up at the rim.
Wait, but
If
you
I'm
don't
Yeah,
not,
you
think that
take a
You
mid
don't
wait,
think
range,
you
nigga.
lost a step?
wait, hold
You
on,
don't
hold
think you
on. I
lost a
You
don't.
take
step
a
up?
mid range, nigga.
say what?
Yeah,
You take a
against the
mid
mid range.
range.
Yeah, the mid
Yeah,
range. Mid range post ups, against your spots. Like you don't think you lost a step compared to before you tore your Achilles?
lost a step. What you mean?
Do
Like
you
you got
think
You
you
don't
slower.
got
get to the rim.
slower post
You
Achilles
don't get to rim
injury?
as much as you did before. Pretty much, yeah.
I don't even look at them stats. Am I getting to the rim less?
Bro, you get to the rim like
Bro,
at
yo,
such a low
Katie, do you
percentage,
wait?
bro.
Stop, Katie. Do you think that you get to the rim less than you did before you got hurt?
I feel like I can do what I want. I can move around, maneuver, and make the plays that I want to make.
So, do you think I that's a politician answer? But okay, if
No,
that's
I'm
the
just
case,
telling you, like, I'm not dunking or getting to the rim as much. Yeah, there's a lot of players in the rim. There's a lot of people in the paint. I feel like
So
so.
basically,
So,
you attribute
so
more of
if
that, KD, to
if
the
I
players you've been
could,
around.
or just the schemes the teams are throwing out. Some teams may help a little bit more. Some teams may play a little bit zone. But no, I don't feel like I've lost a step. Uh, and I feel like I could play a lot of minutes and still be versatile.
All right, about
so
your three
what?
point
So
shot in the
what? So
playoffs.
wait,
About your three
what
point
Hmm?
shot in the
scheme?
playoffs. Why did that?
I'm gonna say what
Why you
scheme?
think
What
that
scheme were the
changed?
Nuggets running against you for you to shoot that bad?
Just shooting bad, bro.
Oh, you
Wait,
just
so you
shooting
don't
bad.
you don't think
Okay.
you don't think a lack of rim pressure was hurting you in
Oh,
that Boston series?
It's hard to get to the rim when you looked at by 3 or 4 people at all times, man. You think they're just gonna let me drive
Crowding
to
the
the
space,
rim?
basically. Yeah.
but no,
what about
but against
Gap
Denver,
in.
but
what
against
about?
Denver,
Yeah, that's what I'm
you
saying.
just shot
Against
poorly. You
Denver,
just shot poorly.
It's a lot going on in the paint, man. When I'm playing, that's how I look at it.
All
If I
right, but what
don't get
about
the
your three point
rebounds,
percentage outside of Golden State?
Here, let him finish.
Let him finish what, nigga? He's
Oh,
not,
hold
bro.
on. No, hold on,
I'm asking.
Because again, so Katie, so when you're because I think what everybody's trying to point to is the numbers would suggest that your drives have decreased, your frequency at the rim has decreased, all this other stuff has decreased over time. So even this year, when you played in the Phoenix Denver series and you were being guarded by Aaron Gordon, Bruce Brown, KCP, Christian Brown, whatever, you seem in that series to be settling for more pull-up twos, contested pull-up twos.
I feel like I
In that,
got to the rim more in that series than I did in the last couple of years. I was getting to the free throw line. I was getting to the paint, driving to the rim off the transition. I felt like I was getting to it downhill in that series.
so for you then when you evaluate your shooting percentages, for instance, in that series, or when KD when you were getting guarded by Aaron Gordon, I think you shot like 38% or whatever the course of that series. That what do you think that's more so you were just missing shots that you
Yeah,
normally would have hit just because of the
most
series?
definitely.
Okay.
And I told you that. But hold on, let me ask this question though. You
Of
said
course they play good defense. Of course teams play good defense, get a good contest, but it's not like
yo. So
anything
you said you don't fuck.
drastic happens. Just been
Yo,
shots.
you said you don't fuck with rankings. So as people that's analyzing the game and players that we set expectations for, standards for, they don't live up to that, right? Like,
Who?
how do you feel about that?
Oh, you just saying in general.
You said what?
You said when people don't live up to
Yeah,
the
the
stand. I don't
the
set
players
standards.
don't live up to the standards or
I
the
don't set.
expectation that's set, even for themselves. A player like you probably set standards and expectations for yourself. If you don't live up to it, and as fans or even analysts of the game, and we see you don't live up to it, how do you feel about that when it happens? Oh.
Did he duck?
Oh, he left.
Bruh, I was about to ask about that rim pressure, bruh. Listen, I love Katie.
Oh, he
Bro,
left.
y'all
That
going
nigga
to
Damn.
hell,
capping.
bro. I had a
That nigga
question.
capping on that
Damn.
rim
Yeah,
pressure,
niggas.
dog.
Nah, niggas is glazed. That KB, you sick nigga, bro. You a sick,
I didn't
sick
even
KB acting
nigga.
like he
capping.
fuck
I
with that
wanted
nigga.
answers, bro, because
I didn't
again,
even.
Nah, because I really hated that shit.
I
First off, I
hated
gotta
that
get this
too. What
off.
the
He's
Wait,
back.
no,
fuck
He's
is
stop,
back.
stop,
He's
fucking
stop,
back.
stop,
y'all?
Say
stop,
he
stop,
back.
stop.
Say he
Wait,
back. Say
stop,
he
stop,
back.
stop. Because niggas was really pissing me off in my DM. For the final time, Eli, Charlize, I cannot see you in the request. Stop DMing me. Yo, let me come up. I can't see you. Oh my God. I can't see you.
Also,
When I
nigga,
see you, I'm going to bring you up.
why the fuck are
Damn.
y'all niggas? I'm trying to like fact check. Nigga, he had two games
Fuck.
where he got to the free throw line less than 5 times. What is this nigga talking about, bro? What the fuck are we talking about? Okay, he's back. Please, KD, answer this question, bro, because I'm kind of confused.
Answer what question?
There was
Mine?
two games. No, nigga talking about he got rim pressure, and there was two games
Tell me again.
where I would
Say it again.
agree.
I ain't hear what y'all
But
said. My fault.
there were the first two games where you got less than four, you got less than 5 free throws. You combined for 6 free throws in two
What
games in that
what game?
series.
What's the series?
Games 1 and 2, and then in particular in game 2, you also took 12 shots behind the arc. What happened in that game? Those two games.
Which games?
The first two games of the Denver Nuggets series, where you combined for 6 free throw attempts in two games, and in one game in particular, you took 12 3-pointers,
Hmm.
and you only took two free throw attempts in that same game.
Bad approach by me by shooting too many threes.
What was the approach that y'all needed? What was the? I'm kind of like that's what I'm asking. Like, what was the approach that came into the concept of I need to attempt, or
I just need to
I
get
might
more
need to get
shots
three
up.
point.
Just get
Okay.
more shots up.
Now I agree. The following two games you got to the free throw line immensely, but then I think the last two games it kind of went back to what you normally would do, which is I would argue selling for a lot more middies than anything else.
That's just yeah. I feel you. I mean, yeah, we can nitpick well, like, what's your point?
The point I'm making is that again, when it comes to assessing players, and I get you saying that you don't do this, but I think that in particular, especially the gap between 5, 6, and 7, there probably will be nitpicks. My argument is that like if my argument towards why you're not is that the value of who you are as a scorer, especially rim pressure and getting to the basket, isn't where it needs to be
Where
to
does it
put
need to
you
be
in.
in order? Where does it need to be?
If we're talking about other players who are getting to the free throw line and put more rim pressure, such as like a Luka, then I think that like that right there would be in favoring a Luka. If I'm comparing you and Luka, I would undeniably say that he gets to the rim more often. He puts more pressure on the basket more often. Like those are things that I would undeniably say are true.
So what's that? I mean, so like, What's his play style? What point are you trying to make? I don't get it.
The point I'm trying to make is that if I'm having a conversation with somebody and we're discussing the ability to score, the dynamic ability to score, just even offense in general, right? Again, if people want to just blankly stay about the scoring aspect, I'm fine with the idea of you scoring. But if I then bring up the lack of rim pressure in contrast to someone like Luca and why I would favor Luca, if their immediate response to that would be, I think potentially an embellishment of how often you get to the free throw line, and then I'm comparing you to Luca or I bring up to Luca, then that's where like the disconnect happens because then even especially if I bring up somebody else who I just believe gives more pressure to the rim than you, especially like a Luka or a Giannis, then they pivot to another conversation that has nothing to do with what we're talking about it what besides accepting it. And so what you're saying that you think you got to the free throw line a lot in that series, I think two of those games you did. I don't think that the remainder of the series you did though.
Well, I guess. So your point is that like you don't want to put me in the same conversation with Luca and the rest of the top five guys. That's what this whole spaces is about, right?
No, my point is that people who have you where they have you just should be consistent from one
No,
place
but
to the
Low,
other.
you don't think he's top five, so stop dancing around the
Yes,
question.
but
Yeah,
that's not.
just
But
say
that's
that,
not. But
bro.
that's. But that's
Just
not. That's
answer.
not that.
I think you be making shit way more complicated than it should be when we involved in the game. Like who talking? Like, yo, you're not good because of rim pressure. Like I didn't even know y'all even
Who
got
said?
like
Who
you.
said? Who said that you weren't good though?
No,
Who said
I'm
that you
just
weren't?
saying that's a talking point. Talking the game. Like a lot of
Oh
people
well,
don't even.
I'm not. I'm not. I never said
Yeah.
that you weren't good. That never
No,
came
no,
out
I'm
of my
just
mouth.
saying. I'm just using that as an example. Like we talking rim
Okay.
pressure
Well.
and
Well,
playoff
I don't
drills.
know.
Like when you and your friends
Hey,
talk, that's how y'all
KD,
talk about
KD,
ball. It's just like the way
KD,
ball being
how you
No,
feel
wait. I
how you,
think. Boy,
how
stop.
you feel
Stop.
about Bill
Stop.
on your team?
Oh fuck,
I
bro.
just think the
Jesus.
way ball being talked about nowadays, not just you, but just in general, I just be looking like it's just there's too many layers that people trying to use to justify why their favorite players are the best or why they view as the best or what they say is the holy grail of basketball. I just be thinking this would be a bunch
Wait,
of
so
self-serving
Yes,
captain?
bullshit.
I think getting rim pressure can definitely be a determination on the evaluation of someone, especially when your coach last season, Monty Williams, would go to the podium and complain about how y'all weren't getting enough free throw attempts every other game. Now you weren't on that team for most of that time, but when Monty Williams used to complain about the lack of free throw attempts, yes,
Everybody,
there's some.
every coach would come up there and say that.
No,
Everybody
but
do this.
Monty used to do it routinely. And I think that did hurt the Suns' offense last year. The lack of appearances at the free throw line, but it's hard to get free throw attempts if you're not attacking the basket. Would you not agree?
I don't think I just settle for threes though.
I didn't say you. You asked me the evaluation of rim pressure. There is a lot of value in it.
I just think when you break the 3 point line, not necessarily you don't always necessarily have to get to the rim, but I think you can create a lot if you just break the 3 point line. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Our game is played behind the 3 point line. I feel like a lot of teams, a lot of players can settle, just shoot a lot of threes. But once you break that, you're gonna get the defense to react. Now, if you get all the way to the rim, that's cool. But sometimes you can just touch the paint, beginning of the paint, and then you can create something or make it or take an easy shot. I feel like if I pull up in the lane, regardless of laying the ball up, that's a layup to me.
And in that series, you just so happen to be shooting bad on your layups.
On my what?
On what you would consider a layup to you, you were just shooting bad on your layups in that series.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
But my
Okay.
career ain't just about one series though.
But the top five argument isn't about your career either. It's about this season.
But I mean, who in your top five? First off.
Right now,
Mhm.
Jokic, Giannis, Curry, Luka, and Embiid.
Why you choose that five? That's a great five. I mean, you can't go wrong with any. There's so many players in this league. Like you can put a whole totally different five and be like, all right, that's cool too. They all play well too. But why that five?
I think the top three, in particular, are consistently relative to like a lot of other players, especially this season, are more available than a lot of other players. I think they tend to translate, or at least they have something that can translate at a very high level in the postseason when teams are specifically scheming against them better than a lot of other people. Um, and I also think that just their impact, regardless of like obviously like Giannis's impact defensively, is different from like Jokic and vice versa, but for example, I just think like Jokic's impact on the offensive side of the floor and the things that he's able to provide really does alter not only what his team can do, but also how the opposing team defends them. And I think the more valuable and the more consistent you are at that, especially trying to alter teams offensively or defensively in the postseason, lends to me favoring you higher than one person or the other. And then, but for me personally, I just think that if, in particular to you, if there's a noticeable regression from the shot making that you have, especially when you're going up against more physical forwards such as Aaron Gordon or the year prior, JT and them in Boston, then that's kind of a pause for question. That's why I would hesitate to put you top five.
I wouldn't. Me being in your top five, I'm not. There's nothing wrong with me not being in your top five. I just want to know what's your criteria. Everybody got different criteria. Me being top 10, me being
Yeah, you clearly top 10. You're
me
top 10. That's
being
not.
me not being in the top 10. I'm not sitting here like, oh, you're totally wrong about that. I understand. You got your own perspective on the game, but I just wonder what everybody criteria. I think everybody got different criteria about for why they watch the game.
And again, I agree. If their criteria heavily favorite things that you are heavily impactful on, then I have no problem with that.
No,
But
I'm not trying to convince you to change your top
oh
five.
no, 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 no. I'm not specifically talking about you either. I'm talking about
Okay.
anybody else. If their criteria is heavily favoring things that you were highly impactful on, then I have no problem. But if somebody tells me the reason why somebody else can't be top five because they missed XYZ amount of games in the regular season, but they end up playing more games than you did in the regular season, well then that doesn't, you know what I'm saying? That criticism doesn't really add up because you're criticizing them for lack of games played, but then overlooking that when it comes to you. And that's where I'm saying the standard seems to be different because how are you criticizing player A for lack of games played, but KD last year only played 47 games?
And
That's what
he
I'm
just
saying.
crashed out. By the way, he probably gonna come back up. Just want to let you know, big dog.
Oh my
I just want to know
gosh.
how he like evaluates shit. To be honest with you, like 'cause he
Yeah,
said,
okay.
he
I
said
just
he
I
was
just want to
bad,
know. I mean,
and I just want to know
I just
like
want to hear his
what he
answer
makes,
to one
like what
question I
makes a
got.
player good in his eyes.
And
Like what?
Why do you keep wait? Because why do you keep doing it? He's trying to figure out like why you are so upset by why he's not why other niggas think he's top five, bro.
I've
Can
already answered it several times. The
he is
inconsistency
man?
of it. I've
I can't
already
say.
answered it. I don't know how many other times I can answer the question, nigga. If
I
you,
can't.
I'm literally outlining the question right now. It's the inconsistency on the standard in which you're holding him to. If you're going to criticize
Yeah, but he's
someone
saying
else,
that people are held to inconsistencies all the time. So why are you so mad about KD specifically?
oh, I'm mad about a bunch of people who are inconsistent.
No,
I
you're
mean,
not,
I ain't
Lo.
gonna lie,
Not to
bro.
this
Wait,
degree,
I
I
ain't
dude.
gonna lie,
I
bro.
Yeah,
Not to
You
this
said
degree,
post
dude.
season
Come
and
on,
brought up
man.
Luca
Bro,
and
when I
you
saw this,
trying to log.
I'm like,
yes,
he,
Come on,
When I,
man.
when I
yes,
saw
I
the
am.
space, when
that's
I saw
cap,
the
bro.
space out, I'm like, he hating on KD again. I don't know what to tell you.
Oh, this was
I,
just so because people wanted me to respond to him, but I mean, I get it.
I just want to know. I just want to know if he values one criteria over the other. Because
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
want. He said it's we put too many layers on it. Like, what does he feel like?
it's just these political answers is like these not really answers. These like
He
blanket
don't
terms.
know
Like
you niggas.
these I
I'm
accept
about to say I don't know
everybody.
why y'all think he gonna respond
I'm
to that.
saying
He's
he
not
don't
Nigga,
gonna
know you
answer
niggas.
that.
Why would he respond to you
I
like
mean,
He's
it's
that?
a
not gonna
recorded
answer
Twitter
that.
nigga,
space.
he
He's not gonna
responding
answer
to
that.
low. What are you talking about?
period.
Yeah,
That's
politically.
blazing.
He's
What?
not going to respond. He's not going to respond to what specifically makes. He's not going to, bro. I don't know what to
Yo,
tell you.
so Lo, you don't feel like no matter what somebody tell you and what kind of criteria they give you on why they think KD's top five, you're not gonna push back?
It's
He already said that if he has criteria that heavily favors KD, and that's why you have him top five, then he's fine with that. He's just mad about the inconsistencies in which people will argue it.
Yeah,
I
I
just
get
think
that.
the
I
whole
get that.
reason for
I
why
get
he
that. I'm
doesn't
saying
have
I don't
top
think it's
five is
just that
dumb.
though. I think regardless.
Wait, so low? You're not mad at him being top five. You're
I
just
think
mad at the
regardless,
argument.
whoever got him in KD in the top five, he don't fuck with it. Period. I think he don't want to say that out loud, but I do think you think that though. Like,
no. And wait, and also let me say this as well
So
for
you're
people.
wait. So
For
low, low,
people,
low, low,
wait.
low. You're mad
What?
about the argument, then, right? You're just
I'm just
mad
mad
about.
about the argument. I'm not mad at
Okay, so
KD.
then
I don't
that's
all
care.
right,
fair.
I'm saying one or the other.
cool.
Let me for
But
people who
Lo, I
wait for
think.
and for
Go
wait, I
ahead.
want to say this real quick. For people who sit here and say that they think that I'm this is the thing that I'm upset about. I've made more videos, not just Twitter posts, whole on videos edited or paid somebody to edit it, full on videos about the inconsistencies about Giannis and Jokic more than I have ever for Kevin Durant. Matter of fact, even when I've been on the brink of making a video about Kevin Durant, I've actually pulled off and decided not to do it and give him another year or allow another year to pass on. So for y'all to think that I'm upset at KD, no, I'm way more upset at the inconsistencies that have been shown to Giannis and Jokic over the past 2 to 3 years. I've not only made posts about it, I've made full-on spaces about it, and I've made full-on videos about it. Stop.
Bro, wait. I ain't gonna lie, bro. That's two players. You say KD was top 5? I'm saying you said you got a problem with KD being top 5 and naming two niggas.
And I think the
That's not
original
adding up to me,
the
gang.
the original issue though that I had with one of your premise was just what you said about Embiid and about AD. But I do think that you asking the questions as the later half of that conversation actually got into the nuance of like why he thinks the way he does. He genuinely just doesn't believe that his play style has been affected and or changed. And he also does feel like he's getting rim pressure. He thinks rim pressure and paint pressure for him are similar things, and therefore he's being just as effective. So again, that's like kind of getting into just his mind, like how he thinks. I disagree, obviously, but I think even when you're evaluating basketball, like I have a higher priority on playmaking and shot creation than I do anything else. And so I think
But
players
yeah, it's
that
the main meat of the
But
game.
right,
I don't think it's
right.
just that. I don't think it's just that. I think he just don't like the fact that scrutiny. It's so much scrutiny on when a player does anything. That's
Yeah, but
basically what he's saying.
it's
Like,
also
nigga, if
convenient
you
though, Jay
good, if you
Will.
good, if you bad, you bad, and it's not
But
that simple. But to
But
him, he
Jay
don't
Will,
like
it's
the
I think
all
criticism.
that's
it's
I think
it's
at the
it's
Y'all,
point
also
if
it's
y'all
just the
niggas
convenient.
think that
criticism
that's
of
how he
shit, bro.
talks about basketball, I'm here to tell you
It's just
It's
different.
convenient
it's
though,
just basically
because
don't like the criticism of shit, basically, bro.
the
Like,
Flow,
hold on,
man.
hold on.
Flow. This is
But the
funny
but the
listening
but
to
the
this,
but the
man.
criticism isn't towards
Yo,
him. It's
Ash, bro.
towards the
nah, I
people.
know, I know.
This
That's
shit
why I asked
over,
him.
dog.
He went from
Hey
saying
man,
you never cared
Katie, we
about
know, we
rankings,
know.
but you
but it's a
literally
moving
said you
needle
didn't want to
though.
be the second. You
This
literally
is
said that you
insane
cared
take.
about
Not
being
gonna
number
lie.
2 before, and now you didn't care about it. Like
I'm about to
that's
say if
weird.
y'all, I mean, that's another reason why. I mean, are we doing the policy?
These are bro. I mean, he's a media trained. We know like these are not his actual answers, bro.
Yeah,
Nah,
but
these are, bro. He's at this point where
Jay
he don't
Will,
give a
Jay
fuck
Will.
about none of this shit.
No,
He do
That's
stand by
I
that.
agree. I
He
Jay
do
agree
Will,
stand
that's why
by
I
that
now.
came
for
up
real.
because I feel like he was conflicting, right? Like
I agree
one
now. I don't think he
on the rim
cares. I
pressure
think
thing. Like he talking about he thinks he can still get rim pressure, but like this is about what you actually do, right? Like are you actually doing it? And then like the other thing is like, bro, if you don't care about the list, you're dissecting the list. You feel what I'm saying? So like it just seemed to be like moving targets. So that's why
Yeah, I
when
see what you're saying, J Dub. But my thing is, I also been saying this for years. After the post Achilles, in my opinion, some niggas love their game. So KD can be in his mind on one point, like, bro, I can get to the rim. I
Yeah,
can do whatever
KD's
I
not
want to
about to
do,
come up here and admit that he don't get to the rim
I
the
fuck
same
with the
way.
pull up. I fuck with the pull up. I fuck with the fade. Like I fuck with that more than getting to the rim. But at the end of the day, as analysts, we looking at this shit like, well, what if it's more than that, and you just don't really see that?
it ain't about
That's
the can, it's
that's
about
the
what you do though.
conflict. That's
That's
the
my issue.
conflict right there. That's the conflict.
the nigga literally said that like going up against Christian Brown and Aaron Gordon, he was just missing. Like, come on, like, bro, what are we like
He was just
completely disregarding the
I ain't gonna lie,
You
bro.
disagree with
Again,
that though?
I think no, because
No,
I think,
I
but
think
Lo,
that's
I
a part
think
of who he is,
if you let people, this is my thing. If you ask people direct
Bruh.
questions and then they give you their answer, they tell you how they think. And so even if he wants to like try to sideways and say that like I was whatever my play style wasn't changed, I was just missing shots. That also goes to show this is maybe why you've seen this kind of play from him for a number of years now, where if you just genuinely just think it's coming down to missing shots, and maybe somebody's not challenging you about that, and you're just your coaches, your teammates, or whatever, and you're just going to repeat that behavior over and over as years go on, then yeah, then I completely understand why
But
you
he
think it's
also,
just a matter of
but he,
being good or bad.
but Swiper, he also
Go
said
ahead.
that he do think it's team concepts. Like he think he's being schemed in a way that like
But he said
takes
the
away
paint was
certain things. He
clogged.
did say
he
that
He
too,
said the
said,
though. To
paint
be
was
fair,
clogged. Come on.
yeah,
he said what?
but Aiton,
He
but he
said
said
the
the paint was
paint was
clogged.
clogged.
Yeah,
Like,
but
nigga,
then
this is not 99. What are we talking about?
I mean, but okay, wait. Boston was clogging his lanes
No,
though.
this year.
No, but okay. Oh, but this year you're talking
Now
about
he
this
never
year
Bro,
against
responded
Denver.
back
bro,
to
the
that.
Nuggets were,
He
bro.
never
I ain't gonna
responded
lie,
No,
back
the
to
he
that
Nuggets
did.
though
were
He
when you
did
tried to
playing
make
say
him
hella
about
he
this
did
shit.
say
defense,
the
nigga. Are
paint
you
was clogged
He
blind?
this
said
year.
the
Though.
paint
Nah,
was
he didn't
clogged
respond back
this
to that from
year.
this shit though.
Bro, they were playing hot hedge. They were technically clogging. Like you don't understand that, nigga?
I mean, he can't turn the corner as well
Bro,
as
they
he
were
used
And
to.
that's
gapping.
a
But
part
that's
of the
but
Bro,
conversation.
they were
that's a part
ignoring
of it.
one
That's a
Y'all
player
part
the
didn't
of
bring
whole.
that
losing a
up
step
though.
though. That's
That's
a part
what
of
no,
losing a
I'm
step.
trying to, and the niggas keep talking about a whole bunch of other shit.
Oh,
I'm
okay. All right.
I'm
All
trying to
right.
get to
Nigga,
the
you
bottom
had
to
the
what
floor,
happened
bro. You
in
had the
this
floor, bro.
postseason run, because
Yeah, I'm about to say he
belief,
did.
from my belief, especially post Achilles, when he's getting played up against players his height, his size, against physical with him from a forward perspective, then I don't believe the level of efficiency that catapults him into the top 5, top 3 number one, I guess, conversations that some people put him in. If that's not seen in the postseason, then why would I? What? That's where the
Bro,
questioning
you
comes
But I
can't
in.
say
think
that and
the
put
the
Embiid
reason I
over
brought
him,
up, that's
nigga.
what I said.
You
That's
can't
why
say
when
that
you
and
when
bring
you
up
brought up
Embiid, bro.
Embiid, bro, that's where that whole
Oh, but
thing
I
fell
just I
apart.
think, but if Katie was hurt, just like how in 2019 when he didn't finish in 2019 when Katie didn't finish a postseason run, I'm still
Towards
giving
Achilles.
Kate I'm still giving Katie the benefit of the doubt even when he was hurt, and I don't think that he's the same player.
But I'm saying, but you bringing up Joel Embiid to be a
Damn, bro,
juxtaposition to
niggas
Kevin
making me say.
Durant.
Wait, real quick. Yo, the
And
timeline.
you should not have
The timeline is
Wait,
hilarious
the
right now,
timeline
bro.
is yo.
Killing low, bro.
Timeline is peak right
Niggas is cooking the shit out of Flizzop and Katie. Crying.
Oh man.
Niggas is saying Katie's so cooked. He's spending time talking to Swiper, dog. I'm crying. Yo. Oh my god. I'm sorry. I just
That was
this
a
nigga ass.
dumb and unpurposeful mute, Ash, like you always have, bro. Waste of space, my brother.
Yo.
Also,
That
if I could be mistaken, but if, from my understanding, my recollection of that Nugget series, it outside of again like one or two games, it wasn't a lot of him breaking the 3-point line. It was more or less him setting up in the mid range area and then deciding to take the shot or kind of deciphering where the defense was playing him if they were doubling or not. However, I don't want to say that definitively because I'm gonna double check it, but I'm almost 100% sure it was not KD at the top of the key breaking the 3-point line and he putting pressure on the defense that way and just pulling up from three.
Nah, I mean, it wasn't that. But
Bro, I ain't gonna
I
lie,
do
bro.
think
KD
when he
not here
did have
no
the
more,
ball at the
nigga.
top,
Why you telling me this?
I think when he did have the ball at the top, he wasn't breaking it, but at the same time, he was seeing the scheme or seeing niggas play the gap really strong, like
I'm
every
not. I'm
fucking
not. I'm
time.
not. I'm not saying that. But when he's saying is when he's addressing rim pressure, he's saying when you break the 3-point line, even if I pull up from mid, then I think that's still pressure, which is fine. If that's fine. I'm not denying that. But I don't even think that was enough of his shot
Oh,
selection.
well, in games 3 and 4, he did it a little bit more than games 1 and 2. I think
is that rim
he
pressure
started to
though?
That's
reject the
what that.
screen.
But
Nigga,
He
no,
started
That's
it's
to
not rim
reject the
not.
pressure.
screen. He
I
started to
mean,
reject
that's
the screen
rim
and go the
pressure
other
to
way.
him,
So
right? That's what
he
you're
did
saying.
it
King's
more in three and
pressure.
four.
That's rim pressure to him. But I mean, at the end of the day, right? If you're breaking the line and you seeing a bunch of guys is affecting you, I think that's like another criticism of your game at that
so
point.
that's what I was about to say.
What that goes
If
to
you're telling
playmaking
me,
though.
but
Because if you're saying that because you see three or four guys, you can't do what another nigga who sees the same coverage or like even worse coverage is doing, then you're basically saying like, yeah, that nigga's better than me at doing that. You know what I'm saying? So
literally,
That is true. I'm not gonna lie, but he's confusing paint and rim pressure though. I'm not gonna lie.
Nah, this
yeah.
is
So
insane,
so
man.
so if Lowe thinks five niggas do that better than him, then Lowe says those five niggas are better
no,
than
I
him.
just
No,
think,
but
So
and again,
after
I want to be clear. My assessment on impact of what players do, like I agree with him, is based off of what your team is asking out of you. That's what it is. And so, from a scoring perspective, if there's an aspect of scoring that he's not providing, which I do believe some of which has to do with rim pressure and being able to like collapse defenses, et cetera, even when he is, pulling up from mid, I don't recall him making assessments or adjustments from breaking the 3-point line. Like I vividly remember a lot of those sets of his was below the 3-point line. They were putting him in position, elbow, wing. Not saying he was never at the top of the key. Not saying that. Not saying he wasn't above the break. Not saying that either. But there was definitely a lot of times where they were just isoing him out on the wing, especially with Christian Brown and Aaron Gordon. And then if that was the case, then like you're not breaking anything. We're just asking you to make a shot, one or no. But
Then his
again, it
but
doesn't
his
really
his
matter.
response though would be what he's looking at it as what he's capable of, and we're looking at it what you do. Like, bro, if you're not doing it, you know what I'm saying? And that's why I came up because I feel like that was a little bit convenient, right? His argument is he feels like he should be top five because he's still in his mind he's still capable of doing it.
I don't think
If
he's
you're
saying
not
that
fucking
either.
I
doing
don't
it,
think he's
no,
making
no,
an
he
argument for
wasn't
top
saying
He's
that.
five.
not.
making an
He's not saying
argument
why he's
whether or
top
not he
five.
was
He
top
wasn't saying he
five.
should be top five. He was
No,
saying basically he's basically saying everything under the rainbow is valid.
No,
Yeah.
but when we were arguing the
I
rim
think for the
which
pressure,
most
I don't
part, I
think he
just think
even
he think.
believes.
For the most
I
part, I
don't
think
think
he
he
thinks that
believes every
everybody.
conversation is
Hold
valid,
on. He
bro.
openly
Because
said he doesn't rock with the ranking system. He doesn't rock with how niggas talk about like us. I guess specifically about like how we rank players and stuff like that. Like he legit said that, so he wasn't trying to make a case
Who
for
the
that.
fuck talk
yeah,
about
he
rim
Like,
he,
pressure
he
and
don't he
shit?
don't care, he don't care about like top five
that's
arguments.
literally
Like
what he
then
said,
again,
AJ. That's crazy.
but then again,
Who cares
Nigga
about
said,
rim pressure?
Israel.
but then again, he is
I'm
also
like a
saying like
narrator.
everyone's criteria is valid. But I don't even think he believes that because the first thing this nigga said, the first thing he responded to when he seen the low video was cooking that nigga. So he don't see that shit as valid, bro. He says it all the time. He don't see the like the analytical shit as valid. So he not really being consistent
That's what I
there.
wanted to ask this nigga. What does he like? How does he view it as? 'Cause he said good and bad, but I'm like, what
He's
does
not
that
gonna.
mean?
That's all. He's not gonna answer. He's gonna just
Man,
say
he's
niggas is
tap
good.
Yeah,
dancing,
that's why.
man. I
But
don't
that's
know.
why I told y'all, nigga, it's a
What do
political
you
answer.
Yeah,
Y'all talking
he's
about
not gonna
you and Jay
answer. I
Will
don't know
talking about
why.
some. That's just. I think that's how you really feel. No, he don't really feel like that. We all know this nigga does not see every
The
conversation as
thing is, though,
valid.
he
Every
could
criteria
trade.
is
Trade. The
valid,
thing
bro.
is, though, he could feel like that, but there's probably more to it.
He
He's not.
don't, nigga.
We
I swear to
don't.
God, if an analytical nigga versus if it was like a nigga,
Uh,
I don't even know. Like if it was a nigga like Swiper or BDS, he's gonna agree. He's gonna value BDS opinion more than Swipers because BDS is you know what I'm saying. He's not like
Yeah,
an
because he's
Nah,
analytical
smarter.
nah, that's not
type of
what it
nigga.
is, bro. Nah, when we take a
Okay,
deep,
whatever.
basically, we taking a deep dive on this shit. This what I think I learned from this shit. If you taking it, you niggas, he said basically like y'all niggas got so many different layers. We're
That's the
taking
PK. That's
we
plenty,
taking a
yeah.
deep dive on the game and breaking this shit down too deep to where that's probably why you niggas are criticizing certain players or scrutinizing certain players all because you niggas taking too much of a deep dive on it. That's what I think that nigga's really coming from. Because
I
guess
don't
what? That
care.
can hurt a nigga like
Yeah, so
him
like I
or
just
hurt a
said,
nigga
he
like
would agree with a
anybody. It can
nigga
hurt
like Ball
any
don't
nigga.
stop. Like I just said, he would agree with a nigga like Ball don't stop versus Swiper because
Oh,
Swiper
okay.
because Swiper's method of dissecting basketball does not align with KD's, but BDS that method
That
more
nigga
aligns with
was
KD.
that nigga was dissecting his teammates when he was in OKC and called them trash. So I don't care. All right,
But
I'm gonna
again,
pass that nigga. I don't
all
care.
right, all right. I appreciate it, Lo. Thank you,
Wait,
brother.
wait. Before you shout it out, Lo, I just don't go on the timeline, big dog. You're absolutely getting fried, bro. This shit is insane.
They're
I
killing
don't
him.
care.
They calling you Legend of Waiting, Legend of what the fuck, yo, y'all have a good night though, man. Lo, thank you
We
for
we we
hosting the
we in
space,
Discord.
big
We in
dog.
Discord.
You said we in Discord. I don't know who you are, nigga. I don't know.
Uh
I don't